Hey there! You're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with the final episode of Contradiction, Spot the Big Fat Liar. This is actually Contradiction, Spot the Liar, which is available on Steam, and I encourage you before my final plea in this final episode to head on over to Steam and to buy the game and support the developer, because this is a completely Kickstarter campaign, a small development team, and they raised $4,000 and brought this game to us, and I've enjoyed it immensely, and I hope you have as well. If you'd like to make a guess, I should say, as to who the murderer is, go ahead and do so in the comments below. If you know who the murderer is, don't spoil it. But if you're just guessing, go ahead and guess and then tell us why you think that person did it. My money is on Big Daddy Rand. I don't know. He just seems like the murdering, creepy type. No, actually, I think what happened is that Big Daddy Rand told Paul Rand, son Rand, to do it. That's what I think. And son Rand did. I think Big Daddy Rand was just really mad at Kate because Kate refused him or something. Like his whole story that Kate was a loosey-goosey, I think that's probably a lie. I think he tried and got shot down, and he just decided to tell his son to go offer, you know? So he wouldn't have he's the type of guy who wouldn't have his hands on it, but he would tell his son, who's under his thumb, to do it. And make up some reason as to why. Maybe because she was stealing their morphine. Maybe because she could, she seemed like she might out the whole operation. But that's what I think. So, we'll see. That's my guess as to who did it. Paul Rand did it under the urging of Big Daddy Rand. Okay, so let's go in now. It is 11 p.m. We have 1 hour. Detective Jinx has 1 hour to solve this mystery, and we're going to help him. Let's resume the game. As the developer, Tim Follin, has suggested, we need to use the tips. And in the beginning of this Let's Play, I said I would not use the tips, but actually I found that the tips are really helpful for moving the story along and saving time for us, because it tells us exactly where we need to do, where we need to go and what we need to do. So in this case, it's telling us that we haven't searched the woods in a while, and without that tip, we would have just wandered around the village until we bumped into something. But this way, we can head right into the woods. This is Woods Lane that we're at here, and we will go along the path to the right. Nothing going on there. We will go ahead into the woods, where the body was found. Nothing going on here. Though it's a fun thing to note, there are two people over here, and these people have been in this exact same spot since 5 p.m. All I can say is that must be some really, really good picnic. I mean, really good. So, let's go right into the woods here. At the beginning of this Let's Play, I mentioned that this game is family friendly, which I believe it for the most part to be. But this section right here is a little gruesome. It's not overly so. I definitely have a tender self when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't like to do scary stuff. So I can handle this no problem. But I just wanted to give you a warning if you do have some of the young ones around, that this next little scene you're going to want to watch out for, okay? Forewarned is forearmed. Let's go right into the clearing.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to. Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Don't come any closer.
That man needs a doctor.
He doesn't.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is this?
A test?
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out. Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you?
It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Don't make any rash commitments. Well, well. You really should take more care of your things, Ryan. Is your keys, Kyle?
No.
So that's threshold testing, is it? Sticking a skewer through your hand? I could just ask Ryan or Paul directly about this, but I think I'll bide my time. See what I can do with this key fob first.
All right. So that's the scary part over with. Nothing else happens that's nearly that unpleasant. But threshold testing, yeah. Those people at Atlas. Pretty odd. Pretty odd. Okay, so we have a key fob, and he gave us the clue. Actually, let's close this for a minute and head over here. So this key fob was found in the woods, dropped by Kyle. And he said, you really should take better care of your things, Ryan. So that gives us the clue right away as to whose key fob this is. And there's only one place that we've seen a car throughout this whole Let's Play. And that's behind the Brandon house. Ryan and Paul's home. And there's Rand M, which is great. So let's see if we can use that key fob here. I love it. He really had to push it. And then he got this satisfied look. Like, I showed you, car. Don't you need a warrant for this kind of stuff? Maybe that's just an American thing.
Bingo.
Ah.
What have you been up to? Be very interesting to see how he explains this one.
It's amazing how people just leave the most incriminating stuff everywhere. So this game was made with $4,000 from Kickstarter. So somebody rented this ride. Because I happen to know $4,000 or pounds or whatever would not buy this car. No. Yeah. Okay, so we have a $500 check receipt to Kate Vine. Could that have been hush money? Is that perhaps how Simon afforded his new car that he got? Some more hush money?
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
An envelope containing a check for £500 was intended for Kate was found in Ryan's car.
Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just a little incentive, that's all. Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
She was a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure
there wasn't any other reason you might want to give her this? Personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
We're cornering him. He's getting pretty nervous. So, no ulterior reason for giving Kate that money. I don't believe that.
Thank you. Probably
Before
back
we
later.
ask the inspector, because I think there's probably a contradiction in there. Let's see. Nope, wrong one. Yeah, there's a contradiction in there. But I wanted to ask Simon about it, but the tips are telling me I shouldn't waste my time, so I guess I will ignore the tips. I'm curious to see what he says.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
It'll probably say he doesn't. Oh, yeah. All right, that was a
That's
waste.
all for the moment. Thank you.
Okay, all right, fine. If the tips, one must follow the tips. If the tips say what the tips say, then the tips say what the tip says. Yeah, okay. But it does say that Paul might know
A couple
about
more
it.
questions, if that's okay.
I think he would, since Ryan gets all his money from his dad.
Now, why do you think Ryan might want to give Kate a cheque for £500?
I've really no idea. Where did you find it?
Just outside.
Better ask him.
You think Ryan was interested romantically in Kate?
I know he has a weakness for blondes, but I didn't think it had gone so far as his offering them cash.
Well, I don't know if that's a contradiction or not, but Kate, as you can see, was definitely not a blonde. Very pretty woman. Was interested in blondes. Okay, so
Be back later on, if that's okay.
let's call the chief first. And then it also mentioned that we might want... Whoa. What was that about? Well, let's call the chief first, and then we'll run over to the farm and find out what he's picking up. Do some snooping.
Got something interesting, gents?
Very much so, sir. An interesting discovery in Ryan's car. A cheque for £500 from Ryan made out to Kate.
Blimey, how does he explain that?
He said it was an incentive. Apparently he'd heard she was thinking of leaving the course.
What made her so special that they were willing to pay her to stay?
Just a good student, I suppose.
Nah, doesn't add up. £500 is a lot more than an incentive, Jenks. You can buy questions in Parliament for that kind of money. Sounds pretty desperate. Keep on at Ryan about it. Oh, and get yourself another drink.
Another drink. Thanks, Chief.
I'm having one. Right.
He said, I'm having one, right? I've never heard any modern... Blimey seems to me like a word that's old-fashioned. Do people still say blimey in England? If you're in England or know anybody from England, let me know. Okay, so let's head over. We do have a contradiction that we can get out of Ryan, but before we do that, let's find out what James is doing. Is this just a red herring? Let's go up the steps and spy a little bit. Let's see. I was hoping the magnifying glass would come up and show us what that could have been. But let's go further up. Yes, we are lucky. That box might have just been what he picked up. Let's see. The box says Clark's.
So James is interested in poppy pods, is he? I think he's got some explaining to do.
Poppy pods. For those of you who don't know, that is what you use, or is what morphine is made from. A box of poppy pods was found in the greenhouses at the farm, delivered by an unknown man. Okay. As he mentioned, he got some splaining to do. Lucy, you have some splaining to do. That was the worst imitation ever.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
So he wouldn't know about that. Key fob, no. Definitely wouldn't know. But poppy pods.
What can you tell me about several boxes of dried poppy pods in the greenhouse back there?
Feel free to take some if you want.
What are they for, James?
Decoration? Why?
Decoration.
There's a big market for them among the over 70s.
So what are you doing with them?
Selling them to grannies.
Okay, James, let's just cut to the chase. Are you extracting opium from them?
Me? I can honestly say I've never done anything like that, Inspector.
Sure about that.
Scout's honour.
And who was the guy delivering them?
A friend. Someone gave them to him. He asked me if I wanted them. I said I'd have a look and see if I liked them.
You just thought you'd have a look? No particular reason?
I'm a plant scientist, that's what I do.
Have you ever sold them to anyone else?
I only got them a few minutes ago.
In the past. You know Kate's body had opium in the blood when it was found?
No, I didn't. Hey, that's nothing to do with me.
Let's hope not.
And there's probably there may be another contradiction in there.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
But I don't know, I have a feeling he didn't do it. He's not got enough reason to. If he were going to kill anybody, he'd go for the Rands. But let's... Actually, I'm calling the chief without knowing if I need to call the chief. Oh well. If the chief has nothing to say, like in this case, then he won't pick up after a few rings. So. All right, so poppy pods. Let's go check out that contradiction with Ryan. I meant to click on the map there, not the tips, but I think there's a contradiction here with Ryan.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
But we'll also ask him about the poppy pods.
Know anything about poppy pods? Come across anyone selling them or anything?
Poppy pods. Well, don't tell anyone, Inspector, but I hear that you can make opium out of those. Why do you ask?
Doesn't matter.
Blink, 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 blink. Okay, so... I feel there's a contradiction in here. I'm just not sure what it was. Possibly here. If Kate enjoyed the course and had no detectable problems, then why would he have given her money for her to stay? It's either this one or this one. Let's try this one first. Nope. No! I am barking up the wrong tree. Okay, well, let's go and ask some questions. Actually, you know what? Before I do that. Yeah, there is a contradiction here, but before I try and find it, let's go up and down Main Street, as it were. and ask everybody about the poppy pods.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Odd question, but have you ever seen anyone handling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? As in, for opium? No. Though James did have opium tea once, I think.
Where did he get it from?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask. James does his own thing.
What does opium tea taste like?
But I don't know. I didn't try it.
Really?
I didn't want to risk it, did I? I went to hospital once. I had codeine and I went into anaphylactic shock. The doctor said it was an opium derivative, apparently, so.
Interesting. Interesting. Do you guys see anything there?
Thank you.
I see
Probably
something.
back later.
Once again, I'm pretty sure she won't know too much about this.
Strange question. Have you ever known of anyone selling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? Don't think so. Isn't that opium?
Kind of. It's okay.
I love it. It's okay. Okay, and it's also very amusing
Thank you.
to hear the actors, all of them saying, poppy pods, poppy pods. Let's go to Rebecca.
Ask about a few more things, please.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Go on.
Ever come across anyone trying to sell them or anything like that? Maybe even in here?
Not that I remember.
That woman is a cool cucumber. Oh, it's best not to ask Rebecca about the money for Kate because Rebecca would probably sock us one.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
I hope to never cross her on a bad day. Okay, and then let's see how Big Daddy Rand says poppy pods.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Already asked him about that.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Poppy pod?
Ever come across anyone selling them, using them?
No.
He didn't say poppy pods in as exciting a manner as I was hoping.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Okay, we've asked everyone, and I saw I saw one contradiction, and I think I can find another. So let's head back to Simon and point at him and call him a liar.
A few more questions, please.
I think I should have been a detective. If it involves running around and pointing at people and calling them big fat fibbers. Okay, box of poppy pods. All right, so the contradiction in this one. Do you see it? Is allergic to opiates. But yet, in the mirror room, I believe it was. Ah, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Morphine is an opiate.
Aha.
You and Kate took morphine in the mirror room. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allergic to opiates, Simon. Opium. You didn't take the morphine at all, did you?
Well, no, I didn't. Kate did, though.
I thought you were trying to outdo each other. That was the point, wasn't it?
We weren't trying to outdo each other as such.
Go.
Ryan wanted me to test Kate. To see how far she would go to be prime candidate.
What candidate?
Prime candidate. It means the best person in the group, basically.
You mean tester?
But you do it in pairs. One person's the tester, it's me. And the other person's the...
Victim.
Well, it's not like that. It's completely consensual. It's just boundary testing. Ryan wanted me to test Kate.
Because they thought she was the best student.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just did what I was told, okay?
Except you decided to give her morphine. To break the law.
Well, I can't change that now, can I? She didn't die of a morphine overdose, did she?
She died because she drowned. But she drowned for reasons that aren't clear.
Atlas seemed to have this all neatly worked out. If Simon's telling the truth, Atlas are lighting the fuse and then retiring to a safe distance, letting students test themselves and push themselves to their limits while avoiding all comeback. Is this what happened to Kate?
I'd like to know too. Is this what happened to Kate?
That's it for the time being, thank you.
So, prime candidate. Perhaps that's what was going on in the woods with that man who was skewering himself to a tree. Stupidly. He thought he wanted to be prime candidate. That's why he was so mad at being interrupted. He was being tested by Kyle, the scumbag. All right, let's ask about prime candidate to Emma.
Do you know what a prime candidate is at Atlas?
Yes, it's what every student wants to be. It's the best student. Apparently you get a great high-paid job afterwards. I don't think that really happens, though.
Did you know anyone in the running to be prime candidate?
What, like Simon? I don't think they bid Simon, to be honest. Well, he's got too many morals, and you can't have both at Atlas.
Ah, morals.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
So it all comes down to finding the least immoral person, brainwashing them, or somehow really focusing them on a particular way of being, and then getting them some sort of job. They probably get paid a ton of money by the company to get this incredibly immoral, will do anything needed type of employee. I don't know. Shadier and shadier. Atlas is crooked.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas, is the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But
Mostly they aren't up to it.
what happens then?
They get sacked.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Oh, oops. I'm sorry.
More questions, if you don't mind.
Whoops. I didn't mean to do that.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
So I did that because I was thinking in my head about whether we should save Big Daddy Rand for last. I'm going to go over to Abbey Farm. It's not too likely that he will know anything about this, but let's see.
More questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I didn't
Okay,
think so.
That's it for now. Thank you.
Okay, so that leaves us with the Kingpin.
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
What are prime candidates?
The best of the bunch. The peaches.
And so what does it mean to be a prime candidate?
Success. We have a special relationship with many major international companies. We provide them with our best students. And they get an instant job.
And what do you get out of it?
Oh, it's a little kickback. It's just business, Inspector.
And I wonder how much that kickback is. Probably quite a lot. So, Kate was hoping to be a prime candidate. And Ryan may have bribed her with 500 to keep maybe more of Atlas's dirty secrets quiet. I don't know. Well, yeah. Okay, so...
Thank you. Probably be back later.
I do believe we have not asked Ryan yet about prime candidates. I don't think so.
questions, please. Thank you. Now, tell me what a prime candidate is.
You're learning a lot, aren't you, Inspector? Prime candidates are simply the best students, the ones with the most potential.
And what benefits do they get from that?
Well, they get the top job.
Which is?
Well, we have a deal with various multinationals. We train students to be exceptional, truly exceptional. And they get a wonderful top job. It's a very simple deal.
And how do you decide who the prime candidate is? Do you test students?
No.
Did you ever, say, ask Simon to test Kate, for instance?
Oh, you've actually been speaking to Simon, haven't you? I really wouldn't trust anything that Simon Thompson says. You know, he spent the best part of 2 months trying to undermine Kate. No. Now, Simon Thompson, it really isn't my place to speculate, but if you're looking for motives, Inspector, he certainly had a few motives. More than I.
A motive to kill her, do you mean?
Now, that's very interesting, Inspector. Well, that's up to you to decide.
Never asked Simon to test Kate. Students are tested.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
What does the chief have to say about this? Let's find out.
First, but this time I've got something to tell you.
Really? Well, what I found out is that Simon was asked by Ryan to test Kate to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate.
Prime what?
Prime candidate. It's the best of the bunch. The best Atlas student. The prime candidate gets an instant job on a fantastic salary as soon as they leave the course.
And how do they work out who's the best of the bunch?
That's what I'm trying to work out.
Well, that's very interesting. I'll tell you what I know, shall I? That name they used to trade under, Third Eye. Turns out they were investigated 3 years ago over an allegation of physical abuse. Torture, Jenks. Witness had puncture marks through both her hands.
And Atlas weren't charged?
There was nothing to charge them with. The witness inflicted the wounds herself. Witness said it was something called threshold testing, whatever that means. Go figure, as they say in America.
Can I ask the Rands about this?
Well, there's no point. They won't tell you anything, and it'll just put them on the defensive. Just keep chipping away at them. Try and find out what this testing involves. That's the best thing. Get something on them, and you'll be in a better position.
Right. Thank you, Chief.
Nearly there, Jenks.
Nearly there. Threshold testing. There is a contradiction somewhere. Who would know about this threshold testing? So, this is an area where you can use this to click to see all the replies before we decide who is hiding that contradiction. You can click and see the replies here, and students aren't tested. I think it's in there. It's either Ryan or Paul. And I think it's Ryan. But where could the contradiction be? There. Oh, no, that's Simon. Forget it. Never mind. I got excited. Students aren't tested. Let's head over to Ryan and see if we can find out. I just got a feeling he's the one. But it's difficult to remember. And this is the trick. In the end, when there's so many things that have been said, it's difficult to find the one line that will determine. Okay. Students are tested. Atlas Mirror Room. I am just looking for that wouldn't be it. Also, I'm wondering, the chief told us about Third Eye, and I was wondering if it gave us a new conversation thing. So where was I? I was up here. If I cannot find it, as always, I will pause. I'm hoping I don't have to use a, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pause and see if I can find it. And then if I have to use a cheat that the game gives you, where you can get, it adds up the number of cheats, then I will bring you back and we will do it together. I will see you after the pause. All right, I cannot find this contradiction. And this is, I've actually played this game already, but I cannot think of what it is. So we're about to press here 7 times to see a cheat, and that brings my cheats up to 2. And as always, I want to know if you managed to get through and if you found the contradiction. I just can't, I'm having a stuck time with this part. I just can't find where it is. Anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He did. I thought it was Ryan. See, we went to Ryan first, but I don't see where it is. I'm missing something. So I'm gonna have to go through each of his statements with a fine-tooth comb. This feels like detective work. This is what detectives really do. They go through statements.
A few more questions, please.
I'm imagining they do. Okay, so students aren't tested. He said that, and this is where I thought it was. Remember in the beginning? I said this is it, but I can't find the contradiction part. So, students aren't tested. We are looking to the contradiction for students aren't tested. This is the only thing I can see, but this doesn't seem to be the same. I don't think it's right. No, I don't think so. Maybe it's that? Nope. Okay, where were we? Aptitude test, accusations. I'm clicking on each one even though you know, Ryan's guitar collection, for example, would not have anything to do with this. Third Eye Flyer. I am am not seeing where he's talking about students being tested. The minute I do find it, I'm going to feel like a complete person who missed something. Okay. I'm still not seeing the testing thing. We'll go through this, and of course, if I can't find it, then I'm going to go look it up, and then we will both smack our foreheads together. Yeah, I am not seeing it. It's hidden in here good. Okay, I will pause again and be back with our answer. Okay, so this is very interesting little problem, and this is how I solved it. The reason why I couldn't find the contradiction is because it doesn't exist yet. Because we have skipped one contradiction. The chief was not convinced that the check was just an incentive and suggested quizzing Ryan more about it. We need to be looking for that contradiction first before we will find the contradiction about being tested. That's why I wasn't seeing it. So let's head back into Ryan again.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
I'm sure he's sick of Jinx' face, I should say. And it's here. The money was meant as a little incentive for Kate. But somewhere up here, I do not know where it is, but we'll find it here. Ah, there it is. Under talking about auto-hypnosis, he mentions that students aren't coerced or bribed in any way. Aha. Yes.
So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment?
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
So Ryan's claiming the money was part of Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder? Or was the money for something else?
And that's what we were missing, or I should say, I was missing, is that contradiction, which brings us to students aren't tested, but he just said he gave Kate the money to test and assess her.
Aha. Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested?
She was being tested because we wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So Kate was in the running to be prime candidate?
Yes!
And did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, I did. But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference. If Simon decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
Midnight, and still no suspect, unless you count everyone I've interviewed. It's no surprise that Ryan wants to avoid any suggestion of being responsible for Kate's death, but I wonder if the man protests just a little too much.
We had until midnight, and it is now after midnight. Have we failed? Will we not be able to find the murderer? Oh, let's find out.